Right, I'm here with Nick, my guy Nick. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just covered the game on DR. Disappointed, to be honest. Yeah.
Right, so let's be honest. It was an incredibly slow start from Arsenal. We seemed to be getting pushed off the ball, losing the duels, giving the ball away. Pretty much everything that could go wrong was going wrong. What do you put that down to, though? I mean, there was a school of thought to say that maybe we were a little too overconfident going into this game. Was it the weather? Was it the changes to the team? What do you put that down to?
Yeah, man's not going to stand here and blame the weather for a start. Let's get rid of that one. But for me, I do, it's going to seem maybe unfair to pin everything to one player. And it's not. The whole team was very, very flat for the first 45 minutes. But I immediately didn't like Jorginho in the number 6 position. He's a player that he's looked slow. He's looked the same way that Casemiro looks like he's aged a lot over one summer. Jorginho's the same. He looks aged. He looks a lot slower. Reactions are not there. And Declan Rice has been so good. Not only is Declan Rice, he was good in the 8 and he can play the 8, but he's been stunning and amazing for us in the 6. So why move him out of this position? Yeah. So that disrupts the flow. The back 6 that we're used to having is a little bit disrupted. And we weren't able to play from the back. And, Chelsea were not amazing, but they played on our mistakes. We made a lot of mistakes. We made it very, very easy for them for 45 minutes.
Talking of mistakes,
yeah.
Chelsea's first goal, do you think that was a penalty?
I think it's a 50-50. I think it's a little bit unfair. I did see Jamie Redknapp said, how you can't jump with your hands by your side. You jump with your hands above your head, and then you kind of propel your body above that. That his hand was above his head as well, unnatural position, you could argue. I was watching the Liverpool game earlier. All the penalty shouts, it was, is your hand in an unnatural position? And what's the proximity when the ball was struck? To me, it was a proximity issue. The ball struck very close to his hand. He's got no time to get his hand out of the way. So, there's arguments on both sides, but we were poor to give them that position in the first place to allow them to do that. Same as the second goal. We're talking about, was it a cross? It was clearly a cross. Obviously, it was a cross. But, David Raya being a little bit overconfident, maybe stepping off of his line. Maybe the defender should be there. And again, the number 6 position should be cleaning up and sweeping up if the defender isn't there.
I've got to ask you on that, where do you stand on the goalkeeping debate? Because that's been raging ever since the game finished. A lot of people are saying, got to get Ramsdale back in there because Raya has not had a good last few games. Where do you stand on that issue?
Well, I think Arteta's created a situation for himself. He's said in interviews, hasn't he? I've got 2 world-class keepers. I've got 2 top goalkeepers, and I want to use them both. We've got a Champions League game coming up on Tuesday. That seems like the perfect opportunity to both protect David Raya from the limelight and see what Aaron Ramsdale's capable of, and then use that to make a decision about what happens next weekend. That seems the logical situation to me. Both goalkeepers have to play, just like we have Jesus and Nketiah. They both get to play. Of course, people don't substitute their goalkeepers. It has been done, but we've got to use the whole squad.
Okay, so we're 2-0 down in, and to all intents and purposes, looking like it's going to be a very bad day for us. But Declan Rice, and I know you've referenced him earlier, he was very good today. He dragged us back into it with that very well taken goal. And then I've got to say, your man, another one of your men, Trossard. I know you've been a big advocate for Trossard. He comes on. Great cross by Saka, but a very good finish by Trossard. Now, tell the people, I know you're a big fan of Trossard. Why exactly?
Yeah, I mean, Trossard and Fabio Vieira have 2 of the best GA returns of anybody in the team for the minutes that they play. It's really, really impressive. Trossard's the first Premier League player to score his first 3 Premier League goals off the bench. He is lightning off the bench. And I do think he's so good and so versatile. That's why he starts on the bench. But him and Fabio Vieira definitely need more minutes. Maybe we'll see that in the Champions League games rather than the league. I know Arteta likes to have a set 11 that he goes with in the league. But yeah, like I say, we're going to have to use the entire squad. Saka, I thought Kukurea had done a good job on him today. He needed that assist. He really, really needed that. I thought all the subs did pretty well. Kai Havertz looked pretty good when he came on as well. Credit to him. But yeah, it's just the start of the game. The start of the game is so flat. And Declan Rice, I mean, what a performance from him today. He's the only person really and Trossard that can hold their head up high. Not just the goal, but he's doing a lot of unofficial captaining, settling the team down and really being a leader. You can see he's a huge leader, and you can see the frustration when he scored. He barely celebrated. He just looked frustrated. And, it's because of that leadership that we were even able to get back into the game.
No, I think that's a fair shout. Declan Rice was outstanding today. I think it was Dan Potts was making the point that as good a player as Odegaard is, there have been times when he's gone a bit missing in games. Do you think that's a fair comment, or do you think that's a bit harsh?
I think it's fair. You know, Ødegaard is the closest thing we have to a luxury player. He's like an Ozil, but he presses. You know, that was the argument against Ozil. He doesn't press. Ødegaard does press and put himself about. But what he's doing is he's not dropping into the little pockets of space and picking up the ball like he used to last season. Again, there are periods in the game when we had Jorginho in space and the players looked reluctant to pass him the ball. At one point earlier on in the game, Jesus was dropping all the way back to the midfield, receiving the ball, popping it to Ben White and going all the way back up the other end of the field. And that's going to impact him not being able to score goals. So that midfield really needs to be addressed. To me, Rice or Partey have to be in the 6, not Jorginho. And we need to sort out the 8 position. No one has a starting 8 position in the team. Sometimes it's Rice, like today. Sometimes it's Havertz, which hasn't been successful. Sometimes it's Fabio Vieira. It was Smith Rowe towards the end of the game. So that position, the number 8 position, is a real problem area for us because we haven't replaced Granit Xhaka properly. And as a result, we move Declan Rice out of position, put Jorginho in, and that whole midfield just doesn't quite work. So it's a complicated issue for Arteta to solve, but that's why he gets paid the big money to solve that problem.
Well said, well said. And I just got to finish off by asking you, as I asked some of the other guys, a point today at the Bridge, come from 2 goals down. Would you consider this a point gained or 2 points dropped?
If we want to be title contenders and winning titles, then it's 2 points dropped. We've won 3 on the bounce there. We would have been the first team to win 4 on the bounce in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. It's a Chelsea team that have been getting results as of late, but started the season really poorly. We are more cohesive team because we played together for longer under this manager. We should have gone there and got 3 points. I thought we would win 3-1. I thought they've got enough to cause us trouble, and I do respect them, but these are games that we have to be winning if we're serious about winning titles. So really disappointed in today, and hopefully we just, chalk it to the game and go and put comprehensive victories against Sevilla and Sheffield next week.